The world feels loud right now, like everyone's talking, moving, reacting all at once.
Right. And when everything's changing, your plans, your work, even the sense of who you are, your best guide isn't always an app or a map. It's your inner compass.
That quiet sense of direction that helps you find clarity when the path ahead isn't clear.
So today we're getting back in touch with that compass, how to use it to navigate change with calm, purpose, and confidence.
And this is the Inner Compass today on the Wondering But Not Lost podcast.
Bum, 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 bum. And now your host, Jen O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Bum, 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 bum. Well, welcome back, my friend. This is episode 390, and you can check out all of our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. You know, Jen O'Brien, it feels like we're all learning to live inside change these days. Actually, not just these days. It's been festering for a while, I would say, but it certainly is coming to an apex, it feels like right now.
Yeah.
And it's not just an interruption in what's going on in your life anymore, right? It's becoming the new baseline, which quite frankly was the whole goal in the first place, if you want my opinion. And when life starts to, shift faster than your plans, well, that's when it's time to kind of tap into that inner compass and where that becomes everything to you.
Total truth, and that compass is really off now, not just change. I feel like the other word is chaos. It's nothing but chaos and constant change. And, but the inner compass, that is your intuition, your inner knowing. It's always there, even when everything outside feels uncertain. It's not about predicting the future. It's about staying true in the moment. We talk about this all the time, how to find that present moment, because that's all we really have.
I know, and I really, really love that. Your compass doesn't tell you what's next. It reminds you who you actually really are. When things get chaotic, that's your reference point, right? The quiet pull back to center.
And sometimes, many times, that means slowing down long enough to feel that pull. When you're rushing, comparing, reacting, the signal gets fuzzy. But when you pause, even for those couple of breaths, you can feel your direction again.
That's so good. I know breathing is so good because clarity doesn't come from control, really. It comes from connection.
Yeah, let's be honest, right, Matt? We all drift from that compass sometimes. Recently, it feels like a lot of drifting. Maybe we said yes to too many things, tried to please too many people, or chase goals that maybe they're not even really ours.
That's right. Absolutely correct. But the good news here is you can always recalibrate what's going on inside you, right? And I think I like to think of it as 3 simple resets that you can do.
All right, Matt, lay them on us.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's pause and listen. Pause and listen. These 3 things, all 3 of these things are things that we actually talk about a lot. And
all the time.
It's great to bring them up again because it's so true. If you pause and listen, stillness is totally underrated. When you stop moving for a moment, you make space to actually hear yourself again. And I tell you, I do this. I've always kind of done this, but I really have been focusing on this a lot. When things start getting just a little bit chaotic or out of my control, if you do just stop and take a breath, it's like pull back the reins. Hold on here for a moment. It is amazing how quickly things become a little bit more clear and back in focus again.
All right. So the second one, realign with what's really true. So ask yourself this question in that moment. What matters most right now? Not forever, not in theory, just right now.
More breathing. And the third one is actually my favorite. The one that works the best for me, actually, is just take one true step. You don't need a whole plan to move forward, right? You just need to have one clear, honest action in the right direction, and it will reveal the next step you need to take. So let me tell you something. This works on the trail. That's why I love that. That's why you don't have to always know exactly where you're headed. You just need to know the direction you're going in, right? And you can get where you're going. But really, and almost anything you're doing, that hurry up and wait syndrome or that don't want to put the cart before the horse can really be debilitating. So if you just get started, it will naturally come to you.
Yeah. And, it's got me thinking about when I was a helicopter pilot in the Army, I found that several things, it was very easy to get off course. Outside things would happen. So the analogy here is things that are kind of out of your control that you might have to make a small correction to get back on course. And this is the point. So it could be bad weather comes up or winds kind of come in, and you set a course, when with a compass and use a compass when you're flying, but it's very easy to drift off course. And sometimes if you're not aware of it, you really can all of a sudden be like, what happened? But you only have to make a small course correction. You don't make this big course correction. It's a small correction, and the drifting will, with a small correction, will get you right back on track.
That's really good, Jan.
I mean, that's exactly what it made. And looking at this, it just made me think. I know how many times I had to make small little course corrections because you're planning, right? The map, you're making a plan, and then something happens, and then you might find yourself off course a little bit. But when you're ready to get back on track, it's just a minor correction.
I know, and you're paying attention. That's really good. That's exactly what we're talking about here. And if you're a leader, a creator, an entrepreneur, your people, your clients, and your family, they will feel it when you're in alignment. They truly will. Your calm will actually become their anchor.
Matt and I have been really talking a lot individually. We've been doing some videos on shorts. Our shorts and our longer form videos about music and frequency and sound and how it affects your mood. I'm so fascinated by this, and I think I got Matt kind of excited about it, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's really resonating with people. We've had some people really tune into some of these short videos we're doing that talk about frequency.
I think that's totally true, Jan. And I think it's because sound is one of the fastest ways to reset your internal state. Absolutely. Think how many times you'll just flip on a song that you love and it changes your whole mood, right? It literally changes your physiology, your heart rate, your breathing, and even your brainwave patterns.
Right. And it's why it's important to be intentional about what you choose to listen to for whatever it is you're doing. When you're working out, I'm not going to listen to calm music if I'm working out, right. I might, or running or something that I want to be motivated. But if you're listening to calm, balanced music, you can enhance you getting quiet and relaxed and centered, or, upbeat tones. I have different playlists. I don't know if you do. Sure. I have my motivation, my morning motivation. I have my go to sleep sort of things, so whatever is going to work for you. And the science is really astonishing. It's incredibly practical, and we're learning more about things. You're going to hear more from us on this, and we're going to be doing some things in the future with it. I want to learn a little bit even more, but I have forever been listening to, in the background in particular, high vibe music. When I started to become aware of it, I started to realize that there is certain music that can really influence you in a negative way. So once you become aware of it, you can choose higher vibration, higher frequency music. They're all different things. It's kind of there's a science and a natural rhythm to it. And we're going to be doing some more videos on that, so I don't want to get too much in detail, but it's very powerful. When you start to play with it, you'll feel it'll resonate with you, and you'll know what works best for you. I guess is the best way. And I just find YouTube channels with searching high frequency. My favorite one is called Meditative Mind. I have it on the background all the time when I'm working, just in the background. It's just nice, cool music, and I'll change it if it gets a little bit too. I don't find myself getting so relaxed. I'm like, okay, I gotta change this up and go pick up I got really relaxed, but I'm like ready to just like not work. So I need to go get one. And then you can choose music.
Right.
You think about it. It's been out forever. Classical music, you listen to it. The Mozart techniques and stuff with babies and so forth. You can listen to so many things that will really impact how everything works in your brain and your body.
That's exactly right. But here's the deal. Jan is an overachiever, so you don't have to overthink it like Jan O'Brien does. Not that she's overthinking it for a bad reason. She likes to learn, which is awesome. But you don't have to do all that research necessarily. Just notice what you're actually listening to and ask yourself, does this match how I want to feel right now? And if it doesn't, there's a million other things out there.
That's actually the perfect way. It's just about, that's the best way to know if it's true for you. How's it making you feel, right? Once you understand the power behind that, you really can start choosing your sound intentionally. Like I just said, lo-fi at work, I do that. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Matt, what do you like to listen to? I'll be talking to Matt or on a Zoom, and he'll have like a lot of classical music I know, but is there other stuff like
mostly
a
classical
coffee
music.
shop or whatever?
I'm telling you, here's the deal about classical music. It runs the gamut from as far as calm and serene all the way up to very, very energizing and, and inspirational. So it kind of covers it. That's almost all I listen to in various forms.
Classical. Yeah.
Yeah, it really
and you
is.
have your own favorite playlists and you know which ones work.
I have all kinds of things I listen to. It's so interesting that, because we have been talking about this a lot. The other night, we were having a particularly bad night in the old household here, and everybody was up and it was late and the TV was on for some reason the TV was on. I turned the TV. Oh, actually, I found a song on YouTube. It was actually not a song. It was a compilation of music, classical music. I think it was 432 was the frequency of that music, because I was searching online for different frequencies, and I turned that on and had it playing softly, and then I turned the TV off and we listened to that. I swear to God, it changed the whole mood in the room. It was crazy.
Honestly, the TV, I have to learn this because I've got a bad habit of having it in my room and going to sleep with it and waking up to it is definitely programming you, with what sounds and doing something like that. You just made a great point. If I feel like I have to have the TV on, thank you so much. I had a breakthrough right now. I could go to YouTube on my TV and pick one of those things. One of the things I like to listen to. There's great ones for going to sleep, and that would be so much better. I'm trying that tonight. Thank you.
You know what's interesting? We do this a lot. We'll have like reading time, and we always go to find those YouTube videos that are like, the cozy cabin with the fire, right? Yeah. Sometimes there'll be rain.
Crackly fire.
Just listening to the fire crackle is we like to listen to that. But they do have a lot of them with music backgrounds as well. And now that I've been researching this more, you can find a lot of them that have certain frequencies you like. So what a perfect reading experience to have that kind of on in the background anyway. But it's so funny that how much that can make.
I have kind of been like going, Jim, whatever. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Why haven't I thought of that? All right, I will report back, everyone. If I get into my new habit of going to sleep with some powerful music, it's going to help me go to sleep and have good sleep and not be thinking about whatever was on TV and it's in my dream.
Right, exactly. So here's the thing, I guess just kind of summing that whole part up is your inner compass and your sound environment are completely connected. The more you align what you hear with what you actually need, the easier it becomes actually to stay grounded.
Yeah, and it's so true. And when you choose your soundtrack, that's what we're talking about here, shape your state of being, right? Which is always what comes first. It's very powerful. And it is your self-navigation, right? So you're in charge of it. This is what I think is so important, what we're trying to get across. Until you start to become aware, music is always around you, everywhere, right? And so when you take control of that, you're the one taking you down the path of wherever it is you want to go, and you're not being influenced as much by all these outside things, sounds.
Yeah, that's interesting. And while we were putting the show notes to this together, I really started thinking about, just the whole, how things are kind of preset and things that we're kind of used to doing. Like we seem to, as humans, kind of be obsessed with guides and maps and directions and things like that, because originally it was to conquer, right? And it still is a little bit, but you want to know where you are and where you're going. That's just one of those things that's wired into us, knowing every turn, every guarantee that's happening, around you. But life doesn't really work that way. And sometimes they do not connect, and even like these traffic apps and stuff. It's like, it can maybe get you there faster, but it also can be a lot more stressful in the process. So
you are so right. Life doesn't work that way. But the map is about control, whereas the compass is about confidence.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The map wants you to know the whole route that you're going to be taking. The compass just says, head this way. Head in this direction. Gianna Brown knows I like to do that. And when we start trusting the small nudge, we stop panicking when the route changes. And the route is going to change.
And I've talked about it before on a podcast. And honestly, sometimes the detour is the destination, or it's the best part of the journey.
That's right.
Wandering mindfully isn't about being lost. It's about being open. I've learned this from Matt. And I have to say, based on what we just said, I love my maps. When I was flying, I loved having the bird's eye view and really seeing, like when you're in a car, you can only kind of see as far as you're going to be able to go,
right.
And the rear view mirror, you can see where you've been. interesting enough, when you're flying, you can't really see where you've been.
That's right.
There is no rear view mirror. You'd have to turn around to see where you've been. But when you're flying, you get the bird's eye view, and it's way bigger. And I just always love that. So I've had that ingrained in me. And I just remember driving with Matt in the past, and he is like, so when we're wherever we're in California somewhere, and you're like, oh, wrong turn. And I'm like, well, let me help us figure out how to get back. He's like, no, I'll figure it out. It's all good. And it was such a great life lesson of like, I don't have to be in control with the map. Why don't we go see? And that lesson, I really do that all the time now, Matt. I'll be talking to him on the phone while I'm driving, and he knows I'm going to miss something, and I'll be like, whatever, it's going to be okay. I'll figure it out. Let me just find this long way home now. Right. And so anyway, that's powerful stuff. And it's been a great thing to say that it's okay. The detour can be, the unintentional detour might be the best part of your trip.
Yeah. And that really gets to the heart of the whole thing, right? Wandering with intention. That's what it's all about. You can pivot, pause, or you can even start over when you're doing that and still stay aligned to what your true north really is.
All right, Matt, I think I know the answer, but how do you keep your compass tuned day to day?
Yeah, I know that is pretty easy.
I already know what it is.
If you listen to this at all, it is about movement. When I'm out walking, my thoughts settle into rhythm. It's like motion clears the static out, and it's every step sharpens my focus. I went on a walk before we did our doing the podcast today, and it totally got me re-energized for the day and focused on what we were going to talk about today on the podcast, and also what the rest of my day was going to hold. So always movement for me.
And for me, it's meditation, but movement is also part of that for me, because I like when I'm in that mode of walking, I really am not thinking about all my to-do lists. And I sometimes now are doing it without listening to anything. And I like that even more. But for me, I'm better at doing my morning. I did that beforehand, before we do our podcast. I do my meditation. I get in the right space. It allows me to really, through breath work, to just get into the quiet moment, and I can really hear myself clearly. All that other noise fades away, because that is where I think we live most of our day. Yeah. 90% plus is just constantly moving in your brain. What's next? What's next? What's next? And sometimes that can kind of create anxiety and stress in you. And so I think I've been learning to do more breaks where I stop and just, take 5 minutes and breathe, or take a walk, or go into a meditation.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to always walk listening to music, and then that's totally shifted a few years back where I just listen to podcasts now practically the whole time when I'm walking, right? But I have to really get back into, I used to have a playlist called Matt's Walk. And that would be my playlist. I'd add things
on it,
take things off, and there was a lot of different stuff on there. But the point being is that I stopped doing that, and I need to get back into that, because there's something about listening to some music. And plus, now we have a new angle of these different frequencies. It would be interesting to walk. It'd be interesting to do your walk in using different frequencies to see how that would make you feel while you're out walking. That's kind of a fascinating little experiment. Anyway, I need to get back into that. I guess the beauty of all the mindful practices that you can do, whether it be walking or meditation or journaling or whatever it is that gets you back there, it doesn't have to be complicated, right? It simply returns you to yourself.
Honestly, it can be as easy as just becoming aware that you're going to stop and just taking some deep breaths. The box breathing, where you breathe, you could use the 4 count breath, where you breathe in for 4 and hold it for 4 and let it go for 4, and just do that 4 times. You'd be amazed at how you immediately can come centered and so forth. So, and here's another one. Here's another little quick thing. So, a quick way to just start. Take 10 seconds, close your eyes, and ask, what feels true right now? But focus on your breath while you're doing that. All right. And don't let go of anything that says, well, I need to go do this. I should be going and doing this, and give yourself that grace to be able to be in the present. When you are like that, I feel like we perform better. We're going to show up and be in the present moment for whatever it is we're doing next.
Yeah. And see that really right there. That's your compass, right? It's simple, it's direct. And the best part is it's just really always available for you. You just have to tap into it.
And change everyone doesn't have to throw you off balance or off course. It can be the very thing that brings you right back home to yourself.
Right. And when you trust that inner compass, you stop chasing clarity, you actually become it.
And if you're ready to go deeper, everyone, check out our many, many, many free mindful downloads or the Clarity Series course. It's at wonderingButNotLost.com. These are just simple ways that you can realign your life, energy, and direction. We have so many little free downloads for you that help you with a lot of this, with breath work, with moving, but really simple stuff, because nobody has time for that, to learn some new thing. Just there's simple ways to be able to do all of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, stay tuned, because we're going to be really diving into more of the frequency information and whole philosophy, because it fascinates both of us. And we're going to bring more of that to you right now. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and of course, be forever wandering, but not lost.
See you in the next episode. Matt, we're 10 away from 400.